Hello, it's Scott Manley here.
Today we're looking at the most ridiculous builds in Kerbal Space Program. All right, well, let's get started here. Let's go to Mars.
Okay.
All right.
So they're stacking it, lots of stages up here, because they need to... No, there's some nuclear rockets in there, and some big boosters, and they're making it really... They're clipping through the top of the...
Okay.
They're totally cheating here.
Hold on.
You can't do that for real.
I mean, I haven't seen that many rockets, but this doesn't seem safe, is my first thought, Scott.
As safe as a relative term when you're trying to get to Mars.
I feel like the math here is put as many rocket on ship as can.
We see in the math there is this thing called the tyranny of the rocket equation, and that means the size of the rocket goes as an exponential. So you want to double the size, you need to double the velocity, you need to quadruple the size. It just gets bigger really quickly.
Wait. 14,700.
14,000. Yeah, that's like 5 times the Saturn. No, yeah, 5 times the Saturn V. You know the Saturn V, the one that carried Neil Armstrong to the moon? We're talking 5 times that. I'm looking forward to this flying.
All right.
Whoa,
Stage 1.
Look at it go. Yeah, look at it move.
It's going.
It's not really.
It looks like it's breathing.
Yeah, that's soft joint physics for you. It's kind of flexing under the loads. Boy, this is a really early version of Kerbal by the looks of things. Really early. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, they're just dumping those offshore. Oh yeah, explosions, you see? Look at this. We got 2.5 meter parts, so it can't be that old. Here we go. So you see, every time you're doing this, you're using up the propellant in the stage, and you're dropping it so that the rest of the rocket can continue. And you need to do that if you're going to get to Mars. I think this is a realistic space program version, so they need the 20 kilometers per second, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they need lots of fuel and lots of stages. So now they're in a low parking orbit, and they need to make a departure burn to Mars. So that's them firing up the nuclear engines. Nuclear engines are more efficient, right? You're harnessing the power of the atom.
Engines now, they're
They're not super high thrust, but they are very efficient. So they're going to get much more bang for their buck from the propellant here. So they're going to Mars, and in Kerbal Space Program, it's Duna and Kerbin. I think they've scaled up the universe for this to make it
We're just jumping right into the modded things. Now here we've gotten rid of all.
Makes much.
Oh, what
happened?
This is a one-way trip here? Yes.
No,
there's be a one-way
trip on there. They get a lander on there with inflatable heat shields, because going through re-entry, that is really harsh. You're hitting the atmosphere at 20, 30 kilometers per second, and as the air compresses, it heats up just like inside a diesel engine. And that will just burn the front of your spacecraft, which is why you have these heat shields. So they're trying to bleed off as much of their speed as possible so they can land. Here we go. So they've ditched that at the back, I guess. Oh, now the tiny drogue parachutes. So they're deploying them at 1.6 kilometers. They're deploying these at Mach 5. But the atmosphere is really thin, so they're okay. They're about 8 kilometers up. Oh yeah, retro burn time. So the thing is, the air is so thin that they need to use rocket engines to land. You can't just land on parachutes. Well, you can, but you would not take off again.
It wouldn't end well. We'd have another explosion.
You would have another explosion. Yeah. Here we go, coming down to the surface. And very gently, because yeah. Yeah,
okay.
Good job. That is one heck of a long ladder. You could practically base jump from that. I mean,
there you go.
There was no air.
There you go. He does base jump.
Yeah, so they're actually landing on Mars, planting that flag. Oh yeah. And so the problem is, they have to wait there for a year because they have to wait for the return window to be in the right place. Okay, see, they're going back.
So they have to basically wait. I'm fast. Oh wow.
Yeah, launch
Even
window.
Smaller. Yeah.
Yeah. So the way you can only launch between planets during certain times. So once you get to the planet, you have to wait for possibly years for the planet to come to the right place. every 2 years. So it's typically a 2-year mission if you're going to go to Mars. Yeah, this is great. So he's basically got all the way through this. Here we come, and we're going to do some aero braking. It's just down to the capsule to return these 3 Kerbal. Do you notice they had a angel there? Because you wouldn't want 3 people in a tiny space capsule for 2 years. It would smell.
What is
a lot?
Yeah. What do you call this little? What is this called when it's all the way down to a pod?
That's the capsule. That's the descent capsule. They made it much harder than real Kerbal. They modded it to be more difficult, to be more realistic. And I know that you're having a hard time processing this, I can see. But
that was sick, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, how long do you think it took to build that in KSP? Like, how long would it take to build a rocket like that?
So here's the thing. They probably took multiple iterations. They would build it, like they would do the math, build the thing up, and then they would launch it, and then it would randomly explode or tear itself apart. And so they would go back and tweak some things, and maybe add some struts to strengthen it. Of course, the more strengthening you add, the heavier it gets, and that makes it less efficient. So you might need more rocket fuel and more stages. But eventually, yeah, this could take, it could work first time in an hour, or it could take days.
Let's check out our next one. That last one you saw was a very vertical rocket, and I think this one we're going to see, they build it out a bit more horizontal here.
Oh yeah, it's a big plane.
Mm-hmm. Are you familiar with this one?
Oh, I don't remember this one, but it looks like it's got a lot of jet engines, actually. I see a lot of intakes.
This looks like what we take to Vegas, the same plane, exact same plane.
Yeah, bit. This looks like you take a bit of Vegas with you, right? You have a casino on that, right?
Yeah.
I like how it's just wide enough to fit on that runway.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of jet. So what I'm seeing here is regular air-breathing jet engines and the dual-mode Sabre engines. We've got nice diversity of intakes there. A lot of air intakes.
That's a lot.
Oh, Nelly!
Yeah.
Oh, I hope they're not going to clip the control center.
Oh, I enjoy this.
Oh, okay, just missed it. Nice camera angles on this. Somebody's really worked hard. It is a very old build, again, of Kerbal.
Yeah, this video's over 5 years old, so this one's been around for a while, but wow, this thing looks like it's moving. Like, it looks like it has speed.
It's not going that fast yet. That's the thing. It's only moving, it's subsonic right now. It's only like 254 meters per second.
Why don't
they're doing it?
Yeah, why don't they normally build rockets like we build airplanes?
Because it's very, very hard. That's why. So what this is doing is it's going up to altitude, and once it got up, it leveled out, and it's firing up it's using its high-speed engines to get up even more speed and altitude, and then it switches over to rocket engines. And the rocket engines are less efficient, but you have to use them in a vacuum. So we get the solar panels. Look at those tiny solar panels for this massive aircraft. So yeah, SSTO means single stage to orbit. It means that they didn't drop any stages, right? You notice that it didn't drop anything.
Yeah.
That's cool. So I'm guessing that the next trick is to have this thing come back and land on a runway. Looks like they're... What are they doing here? They're opening all the cargo bay doors. Have they got another rocket inside it? Oh, we got a satellite. It's flying a satellite. Oh. How many satellites? Just the one? Oh wait, no, they've got big rocket tanks in here.
What are they doing there? What are they?
They're dropping fuel tanks, I guess.
Okay.
Maybe they're dropping the tanks for like center of mass, or maybe they're just leaving those in orbit. Maybe a standard Kerbal challenge is to bring a big orange tank into orbit, because it was the biggest part in the original game. So it's like, if you could do that, you showed that you had like a viable product.
He brought two.
I think even beyond that, because there was like 3 or 4 of them joined end to end. Checking all the engines out. Obviously want to make sure that all your engines are working before you're going to come back to Kerbin. Get them flying around. There's a little rocket pack. It's such a...
I don't know why, but
cool
those solar panels, I just feel like are not getting enough power. I feel like there's just no way they're getting enough power to this thing.
Yeah, how much power does it need? Oh, wait, going inside. Yeah, this is the cavernous cargo base. This is using actually a mod, B9 Aerospace, to get that giant cargo bay. Or is it? It might not be. Here we go. Here we go. We're going back in. So now go through the re-entry.
Normal? Is this normal way to land here?
I think that is a very high angle of attack. I suspect it's going in reverse. Okay, that doesn't seem like a particularly stabilized re-entry. I love how it deployed these tiny parachutes.
I was gonna say, I don't feel like the parachute is having that much effect on anything.
Yeah, I think what it did was they deployed those parachutes to stabilize it because it was spinning out of control, and they moved the center of drag back.
It looked good.
And got it nose first. They got home. Yay! But they didn't land at the thing. 4,000 ton.
Yeah, they missed the runway. They did miss the runway. I'm a little disappointed.
Yeah, 360 tons. There, look at the number of orange tanks in that.
Wow.
Look at that. Yeah, you know those orange tanks.
Just one. You're just supposed to bring one of those tanks. And
right.
Okay.
Yeah. So those are like the space shuttle tanks. They're covered in this orange insulating foam, right? Just like this one here, right? The Delta IV, right? So, the SLS, the big rocket that NASA launched, it's covered in this orange foam to insulate the tanks and keep the liquid hydrogen cool. So I actually have a piece of that tank here, if you're interested. This orange foam on the outside and the aluminium structure on the inside is very kind of neat.
So I got to ask, you think that one could be built in real life?
Hell no! Matt!
Matt, you know this one?
Matt Lone! He's building it in one launch.
We're going to be building something
I haven't watched this, but I know Matt.
Right,
a one-to-one.
Yes,
what does that mean?
Of the International Space
well,
Station.
he's building like a model of the International Space Station, but in one launch. The International Space Station took I don't know, 50 launches or something ridiculous, like maybe 30 launches, right? Because it was built one piece at a time, and they had to bolt it all together and do spacewalks and things. And actually, they're still adding bits to it.
Right off the bat, I feel like we've already been looking at like hours and hours of work here.
Yeah, yeah, people spend a really long time doing things in Kerbal Space Program. I've been there. I had a series that took months and months of recording over time. And people are asking me when I'll do it again. Look at that. These are huge. And he's going to launch it with all the panels deployed. How is he going to get it to space with all those solar panels?
I was going to say, wouldn't that cause? I like race cars. Wouldn't that cause a lot of drag? Is what I'm thinking. It
definitely would, and more importantly, solar panels are kind of fragile and tend to tear off if you drive really fast with them. Never mind fly. He has to somehow cover this up or move it very slowly. Maybe he's going to just strap so many rockets onto it that it ascends at a pedestrian pace until it is clear of the atmosphere. I don't know. Oh, God, he's getting the robot arm out there as well. Or sorry, the Canadarm for all Canadians. Canadarm 2. He's putting rocket engines on it. Okay. Oh, wait, what is this? Wait, did he fold it all up or something?
It looks like he folded. Okay. Wait, well, let me go back. I want to see if
we must have missed something. Yeah. So wait, he's got the truss. What does he do with the truss?
We might find that the camera moves way
like hit the left and right buttons so it goes fast. Like skip. Like that's how I like to do it.
Quite a to do.
Where are we at?
Okay. All right. Okay. So he's folding stuff away. Oh, and he's rotating it. So he's rotating it into this position. Okay. So I guess that's on like a rotational joint or something. And now he's folded the panels away so it will not get torn off. Frankly, he doesn't care about drag. He's not in a race against someone. There's no like sport where you're racing international space stations. He's going to attach space tape to him. Duct tape, speed tape, whatever you want to call it.
Is it just is space tape just duct tape? Because please tell me that's true.
Oh God, they literally have duct tape that they've used in space. They have saved missions. $billion missions were saved because of duct tape. Trapping this all. This is like a framing and a backbone, and he's building more rockets with the orange foam. Look at that orange foam. And he's got wings on it for aerodynamics. Because
it looks a lot more aerodynamics. It looks a lot more aerodynamic than I thought it was going to.
Oh, there it goes. Moving with all the frame rate of a potato. right?
video, but just bear with me.
Oh,
guys.
I think this is probably sped up in post-production as well.
How long
Yeah.
Yeah, so he is flying that. I mean, I think he's flying it the wrong direction by accident, but he's just going with it.
Orbit. So,
Like, I think it is so floppy and unstable that he is afraid of steering it.
How can you tell that he's flying it the wrong direction, out of curiosity? Because, like, in my mind, space is space, you know?
Because we're aiming to
but you got to go to the left or to the right. North, you got to go sideways. So if you just go up, then you'll fall back down because gravity will just, like, say it. You can't ignore me. But if you go up and then go sideways and go faster, it's like you're driving around a corner, right? Because you're a racer.
Yeah.
You get pulled to the outside of the corner.
Yeah.
Well, if you do it fast enough, then you're pulled to the outside and you cancel out gravity. That's how orbits work. So you got to go sideways.
That's the best explanation I've ever heard of it, by the way.
So he's going south, which isn't great because if you go to the east, then you're adding in the rotation of the planet. And you can save just a little bit, but I think, he just took what he could get. Now he's up at 20 kilometers, so there's a lot less air there.
Shaking.
Yeah, it's
gravity turn than I typically do because
I mean, I think he's having a hard time steering it. I can see that he's putting in like a roll input to try to cancel that rotation.
It's still not particularly aerodynamic.
Okay, let's see how far this gets to space. Let's see how he deploys it. Because I get the idea.
That looks like
Oh!
the first stage there is burned out.
It's a stage. Okay, so I think that'll carry him into orbit. He's going at 775 meters per second. So he's got another like 1.5 kilometers per second. He's there. I just want to see what happens with his frame. Does it like fold out like a plant, or like what does it do?
Yeah, that's what I'm very curious is how it's going to like Optimus Prime out of there, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
It's going to be like robots in disguise and fold out a space station or something. Let's skip forward a bit, like until he gets into orbit.
All right, we're not.
Oh, he's low in the atmosphere. He's still. He's actually. You can see actually he kind of messed up his launch because he is too low in the atmosphere and he's going too fast.
Are those the parts like losing their hit points?
Sorta, yeah. Those bars show that they are getting close to their critical temperature and will melt. So this is because he turned too early and it wasn't giving him enough thrust. So if you turn too early, you can burn up. If you turn too late, you can burn up. Honestly, you're just going to burn up if you do anything wrong in space. Yeah, space is like that.
Yep.
Okay, what's he gonna do?
You're doing a great job of explaining this to me personally. I'll be quite honest.
Oh, he cheated. He cheated!
It turned out I did actually have time.
What he did was he did time acceleration, and during time acceleration, things clip through each other. So that's how he deployed it. He didn't like open up the thing. He just like skipped time, and because they were separate and they weren't doing physics, they just like phased through each other. Here we go! Look! Oh, wow, that's a really floppy space station. Again, he's cheating and using time acceleration to like cancel out a lot of this.
I think this
oh my god,
ruined the science score.
Yeah, this is. Oh, Matt, I love you, Matt, but not for your science, clearly.
You know what? As a speedrunner, I'm used to seeing glitches in video games to get what you want. So I'm gonna give him actually extra credit for that. Honestly, like me personally, I appreciate that. Yeah, I appreciate that
because I'll take points away for that.
Would it be possible to ever like launch an entire project like the size of a space station? Like the size of the space station, I mean, the International Space Station.
Well,
and in one launch, would that be possible?
50 years ago, they launched on a Saturn V, which is this rocket here. They launched Skylab, which was the world's it was the biggest space station for a very long time, and it was basically just this little bit here, right? Mm-hmm. They converted that into a space station. It was originally just a fuel tank, and they took all the fuel stuff out. They didn't have any fuel in it. They put a bunch of hardware in and launched it on a rocket. And it's amazing because there's these great footage of people like doing, like astronauts running around the outside of it and doing backflips and all sorts of cool stuff. And we've never built a space station that is that wide inside. So yes, you could do it. You could do it again. It just takes the will and the effort.
This one's just titled Building a Snake.
Program.
Building it. A snake? Like snakes on a plane? No, the snake is the
Snake on a
plane.
rocket ship, yeah.
So they're building like a really, really fine rocket, which is a technical term.
A fine rocket is a technical term, and that's just a skinny?
Yes. It is, yeah, there's a term coined by Werner von Braun himself.
What's the advantage of like a very thin rocket?
They're very aerodynamic because they have a very small cross section. The disadvantage, of course, is they flop around like a wet noodle. Right? Have you ever tried pushing spaghetti? Right? So this is like it. You're pushing a piece of spaghetti from one end and trying to make it fly. So he's adding in some bracing. He's cheating. Okay, I'm not saying he's cheating, but he's doing good engineering here. Here it goes. Oh! It's a bit noodly. It's a bit noodly.
That's not gonna work.
Yeah,
that's not gonna work.
Explosions.
Okay, so he said he's just pressing launch right away.
He's pressing launch right away, and it's like pushing a wet noodle.
Oh dear.
He's going to need to build a pooler. I think he's going to need to put the rocket engines at the top, because this is not good in compression.
Oh, so like he, instead of pushing them, he's pulling. Would be pulling.
Yeah, I think it's going to turn. Yeah, maybe he can make it work, but if he turns it into a space train, that might work better. The problem with a pooler in Kerbal Space Program is that because the rocket engines are in front of the center of mass, their gimbal response is reversed. And that doesn't mean anything to you. But what it really means is that if you try to steer to the right, it'll turn to the left. So your controls get all reversed. This is what he's doing is he's solving the engineering problems. And this is what Kerbal Space Program is about, right? When you see any crazy extreme sports challenge, like with planes or whatever, someone has done the engineering to solve those problems. And this is just problem solving.
The way it just is
just a lot more explosions.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love how the parachute of this thing is flying in time. I still didn't. He needs to make it taller so the parachute will safely lower that thing to the ground. He got it flying. He got it flying. Mostly. Now, can he steer it?
Oh, it's like it's got like a dragon tail going on here.
Yeah, it's got a bit of a shimmy, as we say. They picked up a bit of a shimmy. I've done this before. The dragon that flies through the air. It is wild.
That looked like Zelda
again.
Kingdom.
Come on! Success. Victory! He hasn't killed someone this time. Oh my god, it's starting to look like it's a snake. It looks more like a worm.
Yeah, I kind of agree. It looks like it's gonna like knot itself.
This is actually doing pretty well now, though. He's up to 11 kilometers. So something's going right.
Oh shit.
Okay. Is it going to get to orbit?
Yeah, this
does it have multiple stages?
We nearly tied a knot.
I feel like,
but how
you need the definitive head on this dragon for weight.
Yeah, that would definitely help. Dragons' heads very important in steering.
Yeah.
Have you ever noticed that dragons have like fins on their head? That's because they're part of the steering system. I figured this out years ago. I've actually done this kind of wild thing before, but I kind of got it right a bit faster.
I didn't do the top ones.
I got it right during a drunken Twitch stream. So
you know what? I feel like this is an idea that originates with on a drunken Twitch stream. Like I don't feel.
Yeah,
like
I think it requires. Yeah, it requires some enhancements.
All right.
Look at those explosions. Awesome.
Oh wow.
Oh yes, vector engines. Vector engine supremacy.
That didn't seem to work.
Yeah, I don't think
that didn't work either. Okay, here we go. So again, he's doing the whole puller system, and the whole thing disintegrated because that's too much thrust.
Next one we got here. This one is something I like. This one's all about pure, unadulterated speed. I like this like X-Men looking plane this guy has.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, honestly, at 4 kilometers per second, I don't know why it's bothering with wings, right? Because wings will just add drag at this speed. I'm just saying that, like, if you really want to go for speed, it has minimal wings here, I guess. They're more like control surfaces for, you know, they're horizontal stabilizers that provide minimal lift during takeoff. There you go. Okay, you can see that he's pulling back. Like, look at those engines gimbaling. So he had to run out a runway, run off the end of the runway before he'd get going.
We're achieving 400. This is so damn quick.
Alright, we're moving here.
Okay, so wait, what's the scaffolding about?
Just in case if I need them.
What is that? Are they going to launch the plane from the ground? Oh, they're going to have boosters. It's going to have a 2-stage plane.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay, this looks cool.
Okay. So it's a plane inside a plane. Yeah, and you see this one doesn't have wings, right? So, or does it, yeah, it's fine.
All right. See,
So it's a 2-stage plane.
This is the video right here that someone watching at Red Bull Media House is getting a different idea for a totally different project on right now. They're like, whoa, what if we do?
Whoa. 2-stage planes. They already did that.
Who could jump out of this thing?
Yeah. That would be cool to jump out of like a... Oh. Jump out of the straddle launch rock.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Yes.
There we go.
Come on.
Okay, here we go.
We came from.
All right.
Oh, his thing is it's the problem is the vehicle is not stable in the longitudinal axis and it is rotating. You see how it's just doing like a side slip?
Yeah.
It's drifting in the sky, which is not something you want to do in a plane. So he's added wings to help keep it more stable. And it's still drifting.
Didn't look like it helped here.
It's flying in reverse.
We just like break it off.
Okay, so now he's gonna give it another go. Yeah, that ain't working. He needs to do more math for his aircraft designs. Are we gonna deploy this thing?
Yeah, that's what I'm curious. I mean, this one's stable though. This one's going straight. Like it looks.
I have turned on. I haven't turned on infinite.
Oh wait, he's got infinite Oh, ignore max.
Ignore max.
Oh wait a second.
On,
Yes,
so
that's to stop it burning up in the atmosphere. That's
Got
what
another
we call in the. Yeah, exactly. It's what we call in the business cheating.
Oh.
Karma's a...
Oh. I'm not sure it went that fast. I
don't think it looked... I mean, when you're up at your 30,000 feet, it's hard to tell that things are going fast. Except in Kerbal Space Program, they'll be on fire.
Let's check out our next one. We're in KSP2 now. They built a nuclear-powered jetliner here. Again, KSP videos, all super long.
They're all. I don't know, something about Kerbal Space Program players, they can't do anything quickly. You got to show the whole build, and you got to talk through it. And are you ready?
I shouldn't say anything. All of my videos are super long too.
Goliath jet engines. They get solid rocket motors on top, and then inside there is a nuclear reactor, which you feed rocket fuel through to turn into a nuclear. Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Look, I love. He has an escape system on this. I'm not sure that's intentional though.
This looks like a nice casual plane.
Yeah, I mean, it reminds me of there was a test bed where they wanted to build a nuclear-powered bomber that could stay in the air for weeks at a time. And they tested it in the air. Like, they would run the nuclear reactor, and it was weird because it was this bomber test bed that had to have a bunch of other planes follow it around because if it crashed, they needed to have people on the scene cleaning it up immediately.
Okay.
Come on! So those are solid rocket motors. Those provide a lot of thrust.
Okay, so
so he's ditching the engines now. Yeah, because those have served their purpose. And now he wants to open up the rear on this, so he's pausing the game because no one wants to automate anything right now. So the cargo bay is going to open. There it is. And he's got an engine inside there. All right. Are we still flying? We don't know. Just going to start the engine. Come on. Their engine. It's going to be the swerve. Activate. Please work. I can tell where this is going, obviously. And now you fire up the nuclear reactor. And I think this is supposed to push it into orbit or something, but maybe not. Yeah, this is not really space program. Once again...
Oh, there we go.
Why doesn't he use action groups here? He's not a real Kerbal player. He would know all about action groups. Yeah, so the engine's firing, but it doesn't give him very much thrust.
No.
So, yeah. What it is doing is
there you go.
radiating everyone. Oh, there, drop the engines. That's cool.
picking up speed like crazy.
Yeah, it's not really helping particularly much in terms of their. He's still going upwards though. So he's got 1.7 kilometers per second of delta V, and he does actually look like he's gaining altitude. So I think this might actually make it to space. So this is what's called a high angle of attack, because he's trying to keep the nose up.
It's working.
Yeah, he's working. Look at those those control surfaces just going weird. It's like,
All right. Oh.
I don't know what's up with those fins.
Well, it looked like it was like flapping on
Ailerons.
takeoff, you know, which was kind of
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. There's a lot more unintentional motion on these designs in Kerbal Space Program too. So he's not going to be able to make it.
I was gonna
because
say,
he just doesn't have the
He said he's trying to go to the moon. I don't think he's getting there.
Yeah, he's cheating. Unless he's got something in there, he's cheating. He's gonna fall back. Yeah, he doesn't have enough thrust. He doesn't have enough fuel. Yeah, come on. Oh.
Yep.
I don't even know.
Yeah, I don't think more rockets is gonna help this one.
They're not gonna make it to the moon.
Well, and
Yeah,
now he just
is he
caused a
gonna land
nuclear.
it?
Yep, now he just caused a nuclear
Yeah, nuclear
explosion.
accident. As I said, there was a real idea to put nuclear engines on jet planes, and thankfully, it was about as successful as that.
This is trying to set the land speed
look, we
world
fell.
record.
Oh, wait a second. This better be faster than my land speed record.
All right, what's your land
better-
speed record? It better be fast.
It was 1,600 meters per second on the runway.
Okay.
I know this video. It's not as fast as my land speed record.
Get
Instantly, that's
Scott's
a C
video
minus.
now.
Yes, there we go. So this is like, I wasn't even making a video. I just was like, you guys are weak sauce. So here we go. Look at the speed in the bottom left.
400,
700, 800, 900, 1,000, 1,100. Oh, yeah. And here's the thing. I actually try to land it as well. So it peaks out at 1,329, and it has enough speed that I can pull up over the top and fly it like a plane, despite the fact that I've just destroyed the engine.
Oh my goodness.
Deploy the parachute. Yes.
Okay,
And
that
land.
definitely S plus for me on that one. Like the way it, like once the stage 2 just like like gone, you know? Yeah.
Exploded. Right.
Yeah.
You know, like things that are fast out of the gate. Well, this was already a gate that was moving at supersonic speed.
Yeah. What I like about this one too is right off the bat, it doesn't look like we're going in space. Doesn't look like we're trying to set a land record. I think we're going for some naval action.
That's right. And who doesn't want to be in the Navy? Well, except for people that are in the Air Force.
What's scarier,
But-
space or the
I
ocean?
want to know if I open this.
I'm not a fan of being super deep underwater, for example.
Yes.
I know
I
a
think
thing or
that's the
two
right
about
answer.
submarines, and I wouldn't be on them.
Yeah, I think that's the right answer. I think honestly, the ocean is a bit more terrifying than space to me.
One of the nice things about Kerbal Space Program, indeed, it was a feature they added, the developers added after I asked it, is that you can spawn spacecraft on the ocean. They added a dock so that you can actually build ships now. And there were real ideas for rockets that would sail like ships. They would get towed. They would be like the size of an aircraft carrier. They would tow them out to sea. They would fill them with fuel, and then they'd float them vertical, and they'd fly out the top.
Oh wow!
It was called the Sea Dragon. It was a legitimate. Somebody did the math on it. It wasn't just like, you know, sketching something up on a napkin. They studied it. They did the papers. I saw a
very
picture
large
on the front page. Yeah, it's pretty large, but it needs to float first for it to be a boat. Okay, so they're going to try flying it. That's cheating, though.
I kind of
like
agree
it.
that I think this is cheating.
Detail.
Like at this point, you're more skipping rocks than creating a boat. You know?
Okay, is he going to try and land it in the water? Is that what's going on? I like how it actually has fins underneath, like as if it's going to hydroplane. Okay, he's going at speed of sound. That is not going to end well. Slowing down. Slowing down.
I don't think this is gonna end well. I think this is gonna end in an
I don't think-
explosion.
I think there might be debris involved.
Oh!
Oh, look, it's got it in the water. And Yes, it's sinking.
Oh no.
Jebediah going like this.
Oh no.
And it explodes as well. Oh, here we go. Million-ton
A
rocket.
million-ton rocket. The last one we saw was only 14,000. Yeah, this guy's going for a 1-ton rocket, and
around this, though,
he's not going
1
upward. He
million
seems to just be
ton.
building out
we can place an extended
horizontally.
Yeah.
I guess that makes sense because you can't,
Thinking
otherwise they're going to be a
laterally.
snake. Yeah.
Right, think
Laterally? Yeah.
That's what we're doing. Yes.
And after waiting that extremely long time,
Okay.
we have
1 hour
engineers-
later, so he's basically hit the
yes,
button,
this
and
is
it's
my
giving him
actual
like
brain.
1 frame per hour
We're at
as
the
it's doing the
point
math.
where this is
Oh
where
my
27
gosh.
seconds
Oh
before
my
So it's
God.
technically a rocket. Oh, there. Wait.
Again,
He must be
not gonna
cheating or
subject you to
something.
this.
Yes.
Let's be
No, it's
honest.
working.
All right.
I think he's doing that in post production to make it look like it's real. There. A million
Moved it to
tons of
60
rocket.
frames. Wow.
Wow. Look at that. Oh, it is passing in front of the moon. What choreography. Somebody really thought. And he's steering it as well.
How many
Really,
dollars
a professional.
would a rocket? How many dollars would a rocket like this cost to make?
As we
Boy.
continue to-
Oof.
let's go over some
So what?
numbers
Like
for
a
this
SpaceX
one.
rocket is what, 500
As I said,
tons,
this is
and
over
it's
$1
$50
million
million a
takeoff,
launch. So like,
which means we need equally
$10 million. Oh wait, $100,000 per ton. So
Okay.
we're talking $100,000 million. So $100 billion if you were to. Yeah.
Something like
And you would just have a factory just building this, right? It would just churn out lots of rockets, bolt them together, and then of course you'd have to build the launch site and everything else. But look at that, it's going.
Wow.
As well. Yeah, so does this
Okay.
thing stage? Oh, there it's staging. Oh, how beautiful that looks.
So that we don't have any
Truly the mark of an artisan.
Oh, are they gonna?
said.
Oh, that was so cool!
This is
Oh, yes!
collide with each other is
Oh,
entirely
beautiful.
random.
Now that is art.
And
All right, now we're
It's
moving.
picked up a bit of a shimmy. That's the
how
only
this
thing.
happened, but this is very bad for us.
What happens
This amount
if
of angular velocity is going to be almost
your rocket's
impossible for us to
spanning
cancel
orbit
normally.
there? Like half of it's in
Fortunately,
orbit,
we
half
have
of
a
it's
nice
not.
easy
Like,
trick. Quick save
Physics.
and quick load.
Oh, wait, he had to say reset it because it lost some rotation. It got out of control. He has to figure out how to get it into orbit when he has almost no propellant, I guess. There's another one. Oh, look at that. Look, these are all falling apart individually. That's kind of cool. Yeah, so they launched 38,000 tons into orbit, which is like 10 Saturn V's. Well, this is utterly ridiculous, but I love it.
is that a situation? Could that happen in real life? Given if we had enough money and enough rockets.
You could build big ass rockets, but it's not a very aerodynamic design, so there's problems like that. Easier to build lots of rockets and have them all meet up in space. That would be much more sensible. If that is what the future holds for us, right? I want to live in that future.
I'm same. I absolutely agree with you on that. That was Kerbal Space Program. Shout out to Scott Manley.